Hermann von Helmholtz. We did a wanted poster, and that's the doll.
Yeah. So we got a doll, and it had clothes on it before, but we just took that off, and we made we got our own clothes, and we just put buttons on it.
So he was alive in the 1800s, from 1821 to 1894. Some interesting facts is that the biggest German association of research institutions, the Helmholtz Association, is named after him. And he was born in the Kingdom of Prussia, which today is Germany.
Mm-hmm. So this is Mr. Nikola Tesla. You can pass it around.
Yes,
okay, so it's called the Lightning Man. Okay, the Lightning Man. Written and illustrated by Nolani Tran. Alright, so I had a quote. One must be sane to think clearly, but one can think deeply and be quite insane. And that was said by Nikola Tesla. Alright. Once upon a time, there was a famous scientist that came into the world. Born on July 10th, 1856 in during a lightning storm, he was declared a child of light. His name was Nikola Tesla. This is him. He was born with a mustache and a suit. He was born a man. Okay. Tesla was not like other kids. He was afraid of round objects, obsessed with the number 3, and always used exactly 18 napkins to eat. Yes. When Tesla grew up, he decided to move to America, the land of the free. There he met Thomas Edison. That's Thomas Edison. That's Tesla. That's America. They did not get along very well. I like using direct currents, said Thomas. But I like using alternating currents, said Tesla. And he's like, DC, AC, DC. So Nikola and Thomas waved farewell and went their separate ways. Goodbye, Nikola. Goodbye, Thomas. Later on, Nikola Tesla designed one of the first AC hydroelectric power plants. These were used to create electricity from water. It was located at Niagara Falls in the United States. Nikola Tesla's design was used to light up the city of Buffalo in New York, 1896. Everyone clapped and cheered for Nikola. Take that, Thomas, Nikola laughed and said. To this day, the world mostly uses Nikola's alternating currents. But it's okay, Thomas Edison. We also use Thomas's direct currents for computers and electric cars. The world of physics thanks Nikola Tesla. He experimented with X-rays and radio waves, and now we know more about electromagnetic waves in physics. All right. We also know more about electric energy in physics because of Tesla. Yay!
My project is Mikeo Kaku. He is from Tibetan descent, born January 24, 1947. He is alive still, and he is one of the most promising theoretical physicists ever. He writes constant books just about the super gravitational symmetrical strings. In his books, it explains why black holes are created. Instead of particles pulling stuff in, it will be a lot more explainable, much more reasonable to say that the superstrings are the reason that black holes are created. He is still discovering more and more things, and he says that in the year 2020 that the entire Earth's membranes could be electronically functioned. Now you see cell phones and stuff coming off, like being reflected, it could be used on the skin. And just about 40 years ago, that couldn't have been possible. And now because of the future and everything, now we're using computers to help us with common sense. And that is what's making a lot of people fear. started out all of this just through 22 miles of copper, 400 pounds of transformation steel, and he wrapped his high school football field in it and blew out circuits, not only in his house, in his neighbor's house.
This is Galileo.
Like a baby Galileo, right?
Yeah, yes. He was born in 1564 and then he died in January.
Florence, Italy.
Yeah.
So,
He discovered that two masses can pull at the same time, and then he discovered that Earth was not the center of the universe.
and he also created the telescope. He's most known for his discovery. Okay, well, he's most known for his experiment with the Leaning Tower of Pisa. He dropped two objects off with that are two different masses, and he discovered that they landed at the same time. And so that kind of was the basis of his findings.
I wrote a poem on George Washington Carver. So, as 1860 came and grew, God knew what he had to do to bring forth a life that's legacy provides to almost every wife. Cosmetics he made brand new, now found in stores near you. An inventor, botanist, and chemist too, it was his ideas that brought him through. The hard days came as he worked as a slave, but though they came, it was his science he continued to save. As the end of slavery came, he had to work to make himself a name. He would later attend Iowa State, which he truly deserved at this rate. He continued his work with the simple food that doesn't require a fork, a peanut he used. This was his muse. Nowadays, inventors strive even harder, all thanks to the work of George W. Carver.
This is a wanted poster for Michael Faraday. The reason why he's wanted for discovering electromagnetism around a wire by using coil around a ring experiment on August 29, 1831 in Italy. His birthplace was Newington, but United Kingdom. His other random fact that his father is actually a poor blacksmith, and he also discovered a chemical called benzene in 1825.
So this is the legend of Julius Robert Oppenheimer. He was born April 22nd, 1904, died February 18th, 1967. He's a theoretical physicist from New York City, New York. So here we go. I will tell you of a man, Oppenheimer was his name, and being the technical director of the Manhattan Project was his game. Because of his work with the atom bomb, he is in the Physics Hall of Fame. The atom bomb works because of fission nuclear reactions. Fission is the splitting of an atom, like a retraction. The creation of the atom bomb was in the U.S., the use of it was in Japan. They made them in the 1940s and they killed many a man. Oppenheimer contributed to physics in a very major way and taught us lessons that we still use to this day. He taught us what happens when you split an atom of uranium and also what happens when it lands on your cranium. He helped scientists discover the neutron on his research papers and is widely considered the atom bomb's creator. He was a physics man from the day he was born to the day that he met his maker.
Yay!